Hi guys, I hope all of you have been staying happy and healthy. In this video, we're going to start out in the area of French Elementary School, and then we're going to drive over to the Stauch neighborhood and past their house. And during the course of the drive, I am going to go over some stuff from the arrest affidavit, as well as updating you on some of the latest court filings. I've seen rumors out there and everything, so we'll just discuss those a little bit. Anyway, the reason why we're starting out over here at French Elementary comes from page 8 of the arrest affidavit, paragraph 58. Letecia provided statements to her husband, Albert Stauch, that she was concerned about putting mileage on her Tiguan lease, which justified the vehicle rental. It is noted, however, that during the time of the Kia rental, Letecia only put about 71 miles on the vehicle. During the time period Letecia had the Kia, she would not provide the location of the Tiguan. And Mr. Stout never saw the Tiguan. For example, she told Mr. Stout that the Tiguan was near French Elementary School. And there's French Elementary School right there. Between investigators and Mr. Stout, a limited search of the Tiguan was conducted and produced negative results. Investigators later learned she left the vehicle in the short-term parking lot of the Colorado Springs Airport, but removed the vehicle at or about January 28th, 2020 at 1900 hours, which is 7 p.m. The Kia Rio was returned on the morning of January 29th, 2020. So, there's French Elementary School in front of us again, and we were over here in the neighborhood, and we were looking around and realizing that it was probably a pretty sickening feeling for Al when he was going around trying to find his wife's vehicle, as she had said that it was over in this area, and he must have been wondering, of course, not the worst, because, we all know what the worst ended up being, but just, wondering why was his wife's vehicle over here. And, law enforcement looked over here for it as well. This area is about 11 miles from the Stauch home, so that's kind of odd too that she would come up with that excuse, is that her Tiguan was over here, and I'm sure she didn't explain to Al how she got, or maybe she did, we just haven't heard it yet, but how she ended up getting the rental vehicle from the airport if her Tiguan was over here. There's the French Elementary School again. And we are checking out the area. It is going to be an 11-mile trip over to the Stauch neighborhood from here. So I will begin going over the various court actions. First, on April 6th, Letecia, through her attorney, filed a motion asking to have that status conference as scheduled on April 14th and excluding the public from it. And in that paperwork, she said that if they weren't willing to do that, she wanted to, instead of setting the status in June, she wanted to schedule a preliminary hearing and proof evidence and presumption great hearing, because she cannot apply for bond until after the proof and presumptive hearings. On April 9th, the court decided that Letecia could have her proof evident and presumptive great and preliminary hearings in June, and on April 9th they gave her the choice of the 5th, 11th, 15th, or 18th. And I have gone on to the court dockets and discovered that on April 30th, she's going to be making an appearance, probably a tele-appearance, or video, whatever you want to call it, in family court for her divorce actions at 10:20. And then on June 5th, 2020, 9 a.m., she's scheduled for her preliminary hearing in Division 15, room S403, which is in the South Tower. And also on there is June 8th, 2020, 9 a.m., Same thing, preliminary hearing, Division 15, S403, which is South Tower. Anyway, then, also on April 6th, the District Attorney's Office requested an unsealing of the interception of wire and electronic communications to be made so the defense could have those materials. At first I was excited thinking it was going to be released to the public, but it doesn't appear so. On April 8th, the court granted the unsealing of the wire and electronic communication records to the defense. On April 10th, both parties, that's the District Attorney's Office and Letecia and her attorneys, agreed to the proof evident presumption great and preliminary hearings beginning June 5th, 2020 at 9 a.m. And they also said that it could be 3 days long. Then on April 14th, the court filed an order denying Letecia's motion for a hearing on sanctions for violations of court order. And I am going to read that little doodad for you. And it says, this matter comes before the court pursuant to Ms. Stauch's motion for hearing on sanctions for violation of court order. According to paragraph 2 of the motion, Ms. Stauch requests an investigation into a statement made by an individual regarding an alleged crime committed by Ms. Stauch in Kansas. This court has no jurisdiction over that crime. According to paragraph 4 of the motion, Ms. Stauch references a source as reporting that Gannon Stauch's body was found in a suitcase under an overpass. Counsel then asserts in a conclusory fashion that the source of this information, and in quotes, had to be one of the listed agencies or parties prohibited from discussing the case pursuant to O-1, unquote. Significantly, there is not yet any evidence in the record regarding the cause of death for Gannon Stauch or how his body was found. As such, it is not even clear whether the facts related are accurate, whether they were made by someone with first-hand information, or even law enforcement at all. The news story referenced in the motion starts out by stating that the details were first reported in a newspaper overseas. The motion does not identify what newspaper that would have been, or the substance of that story. There is also no indication in the motion regarding when law enforcement in Florida learned that the body found was that of Gannon Stauch, or when Florida law enforcement authorities would have become aware of this court's O-1 order. The court simply declines to take further action at this time based on the conclusory and speculative arguments of defense counsel. If counsel has further facts to share in the form of an affidavit regarding such, the court may reconsider the matter once such facts are produced. At paragraph 7 of Ms. Stauch's motion, defense counsel alleges that, quote, through investigation, the defense has learned that the original affidavit listed in the e-filing system was replaced with the redacted version of the affidavit. The redacted version of the affidavit was not sealed and instead was accessible to the public, unquote. Again, counsel fails to set forth any specific facts in an affidavit that were revealed through counsel's investigation. This is important as the court issued Order O-06 unsealing the affidavit at 11:20 a.m. on April 3rd, 2020. Any changes regarding the replacement or unsealing of the affidavit of probable cause after that point in time would have occurred as a result of this court's order. Defendant did not file any supporting affidavits setting forth any specific facts regarding conduct attributable to the District Attorney's Office or any other parties that are subject of the O-1 order. Defense counsel is free to continue its investigation, but based on this meager record, the court declines to take further action at this time. As such, Defendant Stauch's motion for hearing on sanctions for violation of court order is denied. So ordered this 14th day of April 2020 by the court and signed Gregory R. Werner, District Court Judge. So now that we're caught up on the court proceedings, I was investigating more fully the witness list and all the paperwork so far, and in doing so, I discovered that at least one person on the witness list works at that massage envy where Harley was employed. And when I was checking out the massage envy website, I discovered that on their webpage is listed a contact for Norwood Development, which is also on the witness list. So that was a little interesting piece of information. Anyway, next we're going to head over to the Stauch house, and I have made a little I don't really want to say blueprint because it's not a blueprint, but I have made a little floor plan thing for the basement of the Stauch house to try to make a visual for the locations of the majority of the blood evidence from the arrest affidavit. And to more fully understand kind of what the setup at the Stauch house was, when you get to the Stauch home, the upstairs is what you reach at the front door, and if you go in the front door is facing the living room, and to your left, after you go in a little ways, is where the stairs that go to the basement level where Gannon's room is, and the opening to the stairs is facing the living room. And when you go into the living room, directly to your right is the dining room area, which is off of the kitchen, and the dining room area has sliding glass doors that go into the backyard, and so those would be the back doors that were referenced in the affidavit. So, heading downstairs from off that living room, you go directly into the rec room, which is the area that I'm assuming Letecia was trying to use in her original, I think it was, statement where she was saying that she was working out with her headphones on when Gannon went to his friend's house. Also downstairs are 2 bedrooms. The bedroom that's in my drawing is off to your upper left-hand side. I believe it's Harley's room. It's the one that's got the bathroom closest to it. And I did watch a YouTube video of Harley's about her first day at college, and in that video it appears that she was in her room and then she went upstairs before she left the house. So that, by deduction, that would be Harley's room down there, and the other bedroom is Gannon's. We know from the affidavit that his bedroom was downstairs and that it was near the unfinished utility room, which you can see in my, sorry for the crudeness of my skills, but in my little floor plan of the basement. And then when looking at this floor plan, we can see where some of the evidence from the affidavit was found, and when we're talking about the blood evidence, item A on page 18 of the affidavit states, taken from a piece of carpet found inside a carpet roll in the utility room, found to be a mixture of 3 contributors, at least one of which is male. A DNA profile was not suitable for comparison due to the number of contributors and the complexity of the mixture. Then, in Gannon's room, we have items F through K. F, taken from the bloodstained carpet fibers in Gannon's bedroom. A DNA profile was obtained from the blood and matches the DNA profile of Gannon Stauch. G, taken from the corner of Gannon's bedroom on the carpet pad by his bed. A DNA profile from the bloodstain matches Gannon Stauch. H, taken from the electrical outlet cover in Gannon's bedroom by his bed. A DNA profile from bloodstain is a mixture of two individuals, at least one of which was male. The major profile matches the DNA profile of Gannon Stauch. I, taken from the electrical socket in Gannon's bedroom by his bed. A DNA profile was obtained from the blood and matches the DNA profile of Gannon Stauch. J, taken from the back side of the carpet in Gannon's bedroom near his bed. A DNA profile was obtained from the blood and matches the DNA profile of Gannon Stauch. K, taken from the blood stain on the top of the foam from the carpet in Gannon's bedroom. A DNA profile was obtained from the blood and matches the DNA profile of Gannon Stauch. And here we are pulling on to Mandan Drive. And the very next house right here on the right hand side is the former Stauch home. Still has an ADT security, home security sign in the front yard. And as we turn around here, we were noticing, although I'm seeing it's not really picking up on the cameras, but that the neighbors still are having the blue lights out for Gannon. And here is the Stauch home. And this still photo was taken on a different day, but just wanted to give you a better look at the front of the house. And the gate that keeps getting mentioned is seen off on the left. Over to the right is the piece of privacy fence, but that's the side of the house that has the gas meter. And just like at our own home, the gate is on the left, and on the right is solid fence. Anyway, thank you for sticking around for the ride, and we'll close by exiting Gannon's neighborhood, and I will be working on more videos for you, and please stick around for those. Thank you for watching, thank you for liking, thank you for subscribing, thank you for sticking around for Jules and another day in the car.